If you're a longtime fan of the Red Sox, and you know before there was Mookie Betts and Big Papi, before Pedro Martinez and Nomar Garciaparra, there was Luis Tiant, better known as El Tiante, the pitcher from Cuba, whose MLB career spanned 2 decades and was a 3-time All-Star. Of course, he spent much of his time here in Boston, where he helped lead the team to an American League championship win in '75, and then shut out the Big Red Machine in Game 1 of that year's World Series with his parents in from Cuba in the stands. Fellow Red Sox great Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski would later write, if you wanted one pitcher to start a big game, it would be Luis Tiant. Nobody was a tougher competitor or a better teammate. Tiant was ultimately inducted into the Red Sox Hall of Fame, the Hispanic Heritage Baseball Museum Hall of Fame, but the star pitcher who still holds the record for most wins of any Cuban-born pitcher in the majors spent decades exiled from his home country. The year he left Havana, that was 1961, Fidel Castro's government issued a warning to Cuban athletes, if you go to the U.S. to play baseball, you cannot come back. And he wouldn't, not for another 46 years. He tells his remarkable story in a new memoir, Son of Havana, a baseball journey from Cuba to the big leagues and back. Luis Tiant joined me last night. Louis, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure, my friend.
So in your book, you said it was a time in Cuba, if you said to somebody, what do you think of Luis Tiant? They'd say, which one? Tell us about the other one. Tell us about your father.
Well, what I heard about the player used to play with him in the Negro League, you know, they come in my coaches or my manager in the winter ball. And they used to tell me, no, you good, but your father was better than you. You know, and,
he never got his chance, though, did he?
No.
Was that because of the color of his skin?
Yeah. Well, and then those years, they don't let the colored people play on the major league, you know, and that's what was a problem for us. Because I know a lot of players, there was good players in the Negro League. I go to the museum, the Hall of Fame in Kansas City. You get out there with your mouth open. All those guys, what they did, how they played.
And never
have a chance. You know?
So how hard was it to leave your homeland when you were a kid? Was it hard?
It was hard, yeah. Well, you know, you're leaving home, I even was 17 years old.
I know.
When I leave, and then, you know, you're leaving your home, you don't know nothing. You know, when you're even 17 years old, you don't know nothing about anything. You think you might not, but you don't know anything. And
well,
then
that hasn't changed anyway.
No, and then, you know, you go to another country, you don't know nobody. You don't have no friends. Even your players, they know your friends. It's really a hard touch for me.
Can we go from then, when you were an unknown kid, to the superstar in Boston? Let's go to 1975. In your book, you mentioned, and obviously this is a time of great racial tension in the city. The book says the 2 topics that dominated Boston headlines in '75, busing and baseball. You had experienced racism in the South. I know, South Carolina, I think. Yeah. What was it like in Boston for you in 1975?
I had my problems. I had my problems here in the beginning.
How'd you deal with it?
You know what? I tell you what. Let me explain that to you, because I explained it to a lot of people about it. And then a lot of my white friends, okay, and I have plenty of them in Cuba, here, and I told them things that what I go through, and they don't believe it. They say, no way that can happen, no way they can do. Yeah, they happen. They happen. Some people, they have been like that, they still like that. And they're not going to change. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. They're the way they are, and that's the way they grow up. But one thing I be thank you God every day. God made me strong. See, and what I say, I come into this country to play baseball, not to fight, not to hate, and I don't care what color you are. And then you respect me, I respect you, and that's the way I think. You have to go about your life, you know, and then you have to do things, and the people looking at you, and they're going to say, hey, he might be black, but he's good.
Well, he did. Funny you say that, because there's a great quote from Dick Johnson, who's been here, who obviously is the curator of the Sports Museum. Here's what he says. In the middle of the busing crisis, the most popular man in Boston was a black man who smoked cigars in the shower.
Yes,
that was you. So when you're on the mound at Fenway, whole different ball game, yes?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can you take us back to when I mentioned before that 1975 World Series Game 1, maybe one of the greatest baseball teams ever, the Big Red Machine. We all know that. What did do you remember the feelings when you're approaching the end of that game and you're shutting out the team with some of the greatest players who ever lived? Do you remember what you were feeling and thinking?
I do, I do my job, do what I had to do, and not only that, it was before my mom and dad.
Yeah.
Just coming from Cuba, that's the first time my father see me pitch. And my mother, and my wife, and my kid,
They were in the Fenway stands.
Oh yeah, they're all in Fenway.
That make you nervous that your parents were there for the first time?
No, not really. When I go to the mound, like that's what used to call me the clown, or the clubhouse, because I miss it with everybody. Everybody miss it with me, but I miss it with everybody. I don't care if I'm pitching tonight or not. I don't make no difference to me. But when I cross in that line, no more buddy.
Got it.
I want to get you.
So you didn't return to Cuba for 46 years.
Yes, sir.
What was that like when you set foot on your homeland for the first time in half a century?
It's a bad feeling. Bad feeling. I tell you, not only when I put my foot, when the plane coming and I start see the line,
What did it mean to you, Louis?
I feel inside me, something. I don't feel good at all, something coming to my mind all those years. All my friends that died never come back to Cuba. And I was lucky enough, and God gave me a chance to come back and see my country. And I really, start checking, look in the window, start checking everything, I feel strange. Then when I landed, forget it, And then when I go and check everything and we go out, then I start seeing my country, the way they look, break your heart.
You had a better experience a few years later. You went back to Cuba when one Barack Obama was going down there. Tell us briefly, what was that like for you?
It was good. I told him one of the bodyguard, the guy working, protecting, I told him before the gang, everything, I want to meet President Obama. Well, I want to talk to him. See, not just meet and shake hands. I want to sit down with him. I want to talk to him. And he said, okay, we check it out. Then I go to the field and throw the first pitch. When I come back to the dugout, he called me, come on, let's go meet the president. And I go over there, and then he stand up behind the screen. He stand up and checking my hand to the screen. And he say, hey buddy, how are you? And we talking for a little bit. Then Raul Castro was there. But I even see because I think it was so small. You can see because of the fence of the screen. It was sit down there.
Did you talk to him?
No, checking my hands, same like Obama. For me, it was hard to do that because of whatever happened with my country, it will be happening all those years. I'm missing my family, my country. But I don't do with the idea, politics, because I don't know nothing about politics. I know what I hear, I know what I see. But I don't have no choice. He's the president of the country. You're not going to do that.
Even if you don't like him.
Yeah.
One last thing. One politics you do know is politics of the Hall of Fame. I am one of those people, even though I'm a Phillies fan, that knows you belong in the Hall of Fame. I saw an interview you did on Nesson a couple of years ago where you didn't pull any punches. You said it was a disgrace you weren't in baseball's Hall of Fame, and you said you told your kid that if they inducted you after you died, not to go.
Don't go.
Why are you not in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. Maybe somebody don't like me.
What do you really want? Your statistics are better. Your record is better. Why are you not in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I wanted you to tell me why. Because I thinking about it, watching what they do every year, put this guy, put that guy. And the thing is that, and I don't have nothing against nobody. Pedro is like my son. Cafe Hunter was my good friend. We become good friends. Drysdale, I met Drysdale. But I win more games than them. I got a better record, except Pedro. I don't know what they're looking at. Or you have to be pretty, where you have to dress.
You are pretty. Come on.
No, I don't know what you have to do. And I don't think I don't want to do.
You did what you had to do, and you did it on the Mount. Louis Tiant, you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Your book is fabulous. It's a pleasure to meet you, Louis. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Put him in the Hall of Fame. A book again is Son of Havana, a baseball journey from Cuba to the big leagues and back. You can catch Tiant and his co-author, Saul Wisnia, at the Prudential Center, Barnes & Noble. That's tomorrow at noon.